Hello everybody, I'm Sam.
And I'm MK.
And this is East Coast Haunts. So today we are traveling down south to Florida. Mary Kate, where are we visiting today?
We are going to the happiest place on earth, Walt Disney World.
So I think that there's a lot of folklore surrounding Disney himself and Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because most people have been there or have at least heard of it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's heard of it. And there's lots of ghost stories. Walt's life itself was like a little bit kind of filled with death, like we're going to talk about. So there's a lot of macabre
the energy surrounding Disney.
Yeah, and it's so interesting just because it's like, you know, the happiest place on earth, this place for kids and happiness, but it's got some dark secrets.
It does. It's weird because there's also like weird phenomena and weird history behind the parks too.
Yeah.
As well as like, we're going to end this episode on a happy note because it is, after all, the happiest place on earth. And we're going to give you some fun Disney, like, behind-the-scenes facts and stuff. But before we get into this, I did just want to say, because this is East Coast Haunts, we're only going to be covering haunts and weird occurrences from the parks in Orlando, Florida, and not any of the other Disney parks. So no Disneyland, no Disney Paris, Tokyo,
nowhere. Just we're East Coast
just
haunts.
Disney World. But if there's a demand for it, please let us know, because we can do a Patreon bonus series on all the other Disney parks, because they are not lacking.
Yes, they're all very haunted. All very haunted. But for today, we're just focusing on Disney World. So before we get started, Mary Kate, I have 3 questions that I want to ask you to get to know your Disney personality a little bit.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Oh, how convenient. Okay, so my first question for you is, and this is a very controversial one, do you like the turkey legs at Disney?
I love the turkey legs at Disney. Yes. How about you?
I haven't had one in years and years and years, but I have had a craving for, I told you this a couple months ago, I've had a weird craving for a Disney turkey leg for like the past 3 months.
They literally are so good.
I remember
so good.
When I was little, I had the stomach bug and I was looking through a photo album and there was a picture of your mom eating a turkey leg at Disney World, and I saw food, so I like threw up.
Oh God.
But otherwise, they smell so. I really want one.
They're like smoky and salty. I know they're like kind of like barbaric.
I
like,
know,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Very
like
caveman.
just like ripping meat off
And
this gigantic bone.
But that's the fun of it.
Exactly.
There was a rumor that the turkey legs were made out of like emu or something like years and years ago. It was obviously fake. But I always think about that when I think of the turkey legs. But they get so much hate, and I don't think it's warranted.
I agree. I feel like turkey legs don't deserve the amount of negative attention.
They're almost like as Disney as like the Mickey pretzels or like
the Mickey
ice
the
creams.
dipped ice creams.
Yeah. I don't know. So okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
When I think of Disney snacks, I think of a turkey leg.
So therefore, it's got to be top on the list. Even if you don't like it, you have to admit it's like iconic.
It is iconic.
My second question for you is, what's your favorite pavilion or country in Epcot?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked this, actually. My favorite one is the Moroccan Pavilion.
Ooh, yes!
I don't know if that's like a sleeper pick or if that's...
That one is definitely, I know the least about. It's definitely the prettiest.
I love the Moroccan Pavilion. A second runner-up is the Mexico Pavilion.
Right.
Because that has my favorite ride in Epcot, which is the Three Caballeros ride.
I love that one, yes.
That one's so fun. But the reason that the Moroccan Pavilion is my favorite is because when I went to Disney right after I graduated high school with like my 3 best friends, we were exhausted and so hot, and we had spent like all day walking around Epcot, and we were like, we just need to pop in somewhere and get like an ice cold water. So we walked into the Moroccan restaurant, and the waiter was the sweetest guy we've ever met.
Aww.
He gave us free water. He gave us free Moroccan mint iced tea, which I still have cravings for like sometimes. And then he brought out like a trial platter, like a charcuterie board of like all the dishes that they served at that restaurant just because he liked us.
And honestly, the fact, I mean, at Disney where like water costs like $7 per sip, like that is impressive. That means even more.
He was so nice, and he was from Morocco, so we looked up how to write thank you in Arabic, and then like left him a bigger tip because he was
so sweet,
so nice, and he was like so grateful for that. But that experience just made Morocco like it'll forever be my favorite pavilion.
And all the mosaics like are so
gorgeous.
Pretty.
Yes.
And also I love how in Morocco they have the marketplace,
the bazaar.
Yeah, I love how they have like the bazaar and they have like the lamps and stuff. I don't know. That one's really, really cool.
That one's awesome. What's your favorite pavilion?
My favorite, I think I also have two. I do have to say Mexico as one of them.
Yes, I love
which
Mexico.
I know it's basic, but like it's just so good.
Oh, Mexico.
And then my other one I think is Norway, because I used to love, and I think you did too, that ride,
the Maelstrom ride.
Yeah, Maelstrom, whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh, and we loved that ride.
I was terrified of that ride, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I liked it. Yeah, like when you see the trolls and the polar bear.
And then you go backwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it.
I think I grew to appreciate that ride. I'm sad that it's gone now because
I know.
I feel like it would be one of my favorites. But I love the Norway Pavilion.
I know, it's so fun. They have like really good little pastries and stuff like in that little shop.
And they have that giant like sculpture of a troll.
Yes!
I have so many pictures next to
that.
Okay, we're gonna have to post those on the Insta so that people aren't like
face reveal. And then my final question for you is, which resort, if money were no object, which resort would you go to?
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and I'm gonna say, even if money were not an object, Port Orleans Resort, like the Riverside one, is my favorite.
You were there not too long ago.
That was the one that I stayed at with my high school friends.
Okay.
Which,
so that was like 5 years ago
at this point. But I think that's the most recent time I was at Disney, which is kind of crazy. Have you been recently?
I went right as I was turning 21. Right after I turned 21. So it's been like almost 3 years.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, that's a good choice. I also really I always love Wilderness. Wilderness
I love
Lodge.
Wilderness.
I love that one for some reason.
I also love Animal Kingdom. We stayed there together.
Yeah, we just stayed there together, yeah.
And that was when we woke up one morning, there was just a giraffe outside our room.
Yes.
Priceless. Okay, my question for you is, besides turkey legs, what is your favorite park snack?
So I definitely do. I mean, most of the allure, a lot of the allure of the Disney World food is like the aesthetic and the Instagrammability. I'm guilty of buying something because it looks pretty.
Oh, come on. I feel like everyone is.
So pretty much anything Mickey shaped. I mean, I love the chocolate dipped.
Those are the best ones.
And I really do like the Mickey pretzels, with the side of cheese.
I've never had one of those.
Okay, it comes with a side of cheese. If you want, there's Disney Food Blog. Have you ever watched that?
Yes. Okay.
And they call it plastic cheese.
Yes.
And that's what it is, but it's so good. And then also sorry, I'm giving you so many answers.
No.
The caramel apples that are dressed up like different things.
Yes, I love those.
Those are
at Disney Springs.
Yes, I think those are so fun.
I love those.
They're kind of hard to eat, really hard to eat, while you're walking around the park. So I think we would get them cut or something. But they're just so cute.
That is so cute.
Okay, what's yours?
If I had to, I am a huge fan of the Dole Whip.
Oh my gosh, yes, the
Dole Whip is so good.
Very good one.
I also just like the popcorn. I love popcorn.
The popcorn has a cult following. Did you know this?
Yes, and the popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing to watch on TikTok is the what I eat in a day at Disney.
Oh my god,
they're addicting.
I live vicariously through that.
Me too.
I want to move to Orlando and just film those my whole life.
That would be so fun. Imagine that being your job.
I know. Oh my god, I love those videos. Are the best. I literally could watch those all day.
And then one of the ones that I really want to try is that sweet and spicy chicken waffle sandwich.
That sounds amazing.
It's in Magic Kingdom. I have to try it.
That sounds so good. And now they have all these crazy Dole Whip flavors.
I know.
It's not just
they
pineapple.
have the Coco Moco something from Moana.
That sounds delicious.
The Coca Mora.
Oh yeah,
the little coconut guys that shoot her with the darts.
Yeah,
Moana is a phenomenal movie, by the way.
We've been talking about Moana a lot the past 2 days.
Yes, we have.
It keeps coming up in our conversations.
All right. So, what is your favorite ride?
Okay. This is kind of out there. I really like Spaceship Earth. The one where you
I love Spaceship Earth.
People
the
hate
golf
it.
ball ride.
Yes, the golf ball ride. And I used to be scared of it when I was little because of all like the mannequins look so creepy. I love it. I think it's so interesting, and I think it's so fun. I want to get out of the ride and be able to just like walk around, like look at all the different things. It's so cool.
I love that ride, and also I think that all the details that they put in there, like when you pass Michelangelo painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, or when you go through Rome when it's burning and you can burning of the Alexandria Library.
It's
the
so
Library
good.
of Alexandria.
It's so interesting.
It's
right?
so good.
And it's like the quintessential Epcot ride.
Yes, it is.
I think I know what yours is, but go ahead and say it.
You definitely do. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Good.
I'm a huge fan. I always have been, always will be. It's just a classic.
It's so fun. Anything with the animatronics, I just love.
Me too. It's just so fun. The animatronics at Disney also, they've stepped their game up recently, I feel like.
I know, I'm interested to see. I want to go to the Hall of Presidents. Like, I never thought I would say that.
I have, like, a couple of fun facts about Spaceship Earth and the Hall of Presidents. They're connected in a way.
Ooh, okay.
So,
that's kind of interesting. Clickbait.
All right, well,
let's get started.
Without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Awesome.
Let's take a moment and ask ourselves, why would Disney World be haunted?
True.
There's really no negative energy there. It is, for a reason, called the happiest place on earth, right? There's also the small fact that no one is ever pronounced dead on property.
How convenient.
There have been a few deaths at Disney parks, but they're not pronounced dead until they reach the hospital or are off of Disney property.
Interesting.
But that being said, a lot of people do have a strong emotional attachment to Disney. Could be the nostalgia, could just be reminds them of vacation, it could be a family
all of
destination.
The above,
Yes. That being said, people have a bad habit when it comes to dumping their loved ones' cremated ashes in the park.
Yeah, there's like no other way to. You can't really.
How do I put that lightly? So we're here with a little PSA from MK and Sam. Don't do that, please. Cast members have this cleanup down to a science for a quick and sanitary disposal, and they even have a code, which is HEPA cleanup. So if you ever hear that, and you're in the parks.
I wonder what HEPA stands for.
I have no idea.
Did you know that they also have a specific vacuum that they use to clean up the ashes? So it's like if you're, putting your loved one, like they're not even going to end up in the ride. They're going to end up in like a vacuum cleaner.
That's what I'm saying. It is a quick way for your loved one to end up in a landfill.
So yeah, it's just not.
It's unsafe and unsanitary for other park guests. And it shuts down the ride in the surrounding area. So just think of, before you dump your loved one's ashes, please consider the fact that you're also probably ruining someone else's vacation. And there are several different alternatives suggested by Disney. So Disney suggests incorporating Disney elements, Disney music into their funeral, or taking a trip to Disney World in their memory.
They're like, they're like, why don't you take a separate trip in their memory and spend tens of thousands of dollars?
Also, this is kind of like off the record, but Lake Buena Vista is right there.
Okay. So if you're gonna, and they'll eventually make it into the park.
Into the parks, you would think. But the most popular locations to dump ashes, it's a Small World ride.
Ew. I would never want to be stuck in there for all of eternity. Are you kidding me?
Could you imagine? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Which I guess it's because it's like a water ride.
Yeah.
Flower beds and pots outside Cinderella's castle.
Okay.
And, unsurprisingly, the Haunted Mansion.
Of course.
So that leads us to our first haunted ride. And that is the Haunted Mansion ride.
Let's do it.
And for those of you who haven't been to Disney World, we're going to just be giving like a brief description of each ride just so you can get a feel. Mm-hmm. But the Haunted Mansion is a dark track ride that takes guests on a tour through the Haunted Mansion and grounds of Gracie Manor, which is home to 999 happy haunts.
But there's room for one more.
Isn't
that what they say?
Yes, it is. Take a trip through the ballroom, the seance room, the attic, which is really interesting because there's a theory from Disney fans online that when you go into the attic, you exit backwards down a small hill off the balcony.
Okay.
So they're saying that represents the rider falling off the balcony and dying, because only after that point are you acknowledged by any ghosts in the ride. So that's when the ghosts begin to see you and interact with you. It's because you're dead yourself.
Okay, well, most Disney theories, I think, are like a stretch, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
And the Imagineers do seem to be very smart and like think of things like to the tiniest little detail, so that doesn't surprise me.
You meet spirits like a murderous bride named Constance Hatchaway, Madame Leota, who's running the seance. You may even take a hitchhiking ghost or two home with you.
That part freaked me out as a child.
Me too.
That's going to be a common theme, I think, throughout this episode.
Absolutely. So, our first little fun haunted fact for you comes into play in the seance scene. So there's a book on the table that was rumored and then later confirmed to be a real book on witchcraft or demonology dating back to the 14th century.
How did they get it?
I have no idea. It's not online anywhere.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
It's possible that something was still attached to this book, which is not surprising.
Yeah.
Because in the ride scene, things would get moved around. So they would come in and the table would be neatly overturned. Like, it wasn't thrown around or anything, but it was, like, upside down, which was kind of weird. Books would be found... The book would be found in weird places.
Okay.
Props would be moved around. So it's kind of getting to be, like, a pain in the butt for cast members. So the book had to be removed from the scene and then replaced with a prop.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know how they disposed of it, but
I was going to say, I wonder where it is. I mean, you think you can't just throw away a book from like the 1300s. Like, hopefully they have it somewhere. Wow.
I don't know. Isn't that, or maybe they like got it blessed and
put it back. Yeah,
like the mirror from the Farnsworth house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, callback.
Which actually, fun little fact, today we reached 100 downloads on our first episode.
Yay!
That's so exciting.
Guys. Next stop, Hollywood.
Heck yeah. So there's also a little boy ghost that's said to be seen on the Haunted Mansion ride in one of the Doom buggies.
There's always a little boy ghost.
Yeah, always. I feel like that's such a common theme.
Yeah.
One rider accounts that he was the first rider of the day at the Haunted Mansion, and the cast member that was like loading and unloading told him this.
Okay. And
then he was on the ride and saw a little blonde boy looking back at him from the Doom buggy in front of him. So he got off and he asked the cast member, and he was like, I thought you said I was the first one on the ride. And they revealed that the apparition of a little boy can be seen riding the ride often in the first and last runs of the day.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, and you know what? I did read, I don't know if it's necessarily this little boy ghost or if it's another one, but I read that like there's a theory that a mother dumped her son's ashes in the Haunted Mansion, so like his soul is kind of still like there. Which is, like, sad, but also, you know, if he loved the Haunted Mansion, I mean...
I guess it's nice.
Maybe he just goes there for fun. I don't know. That's interesting, though.
I know. Isn't that kind of cute?
Yeah.
Did you have any Haunted Mansion ghosts that you came across?
I did. So I was watching this YouTuber named Victoria F, and I can, like, all find her exact channel, and we can, like, link it.
Yes.
But she did a video. She was a former Disney cast member. I think she did 2 rounds of like the Disney college program while she was in college. And
I always wanted to do that.
I know, right? It looks really fun. But she was saying how during her first, I guess, program, she and her one friend would go and like ride the Haunted Mansion like before the park closed, like just for fun to freak themselves out. And she was getting off the Doom buggy or whatever. Doom buggy. What are they called? Yeah, the Doom buggy.
Yeah.
So she was getting off the buggy at the end of the ride one night, and she saw like an older man with a cane. Ooh. And then she like looked away, and then she looked back and he wasn't there. But she was like, okay, like I think I'm just freaking myself out, because they would always like read ghost stories and like get each other all hyped up before they went on it. So she's like, whatever, like that was weird, but whatever. And then she does the program again the next year, and she like saw something either online or like one of her fellow castmates said that they were saying that there was a ghost that likes to ride in the evenings, and he has a top hat. So she was like, and so she told her friend, she's like, I know I never told you about this, but I saw this exact ghost. So apparently there's no confirmation, but like he could have been someone whose ashes were spread there. Who knows? But I just thought that was super interesting.
That is interesting. That's crazy.
She was also saying how the cast members who worked at the Haunted Mansion often felt tugs on their sleeves or like on the end of their coat, and they would like turn thinking that there was a kid or something and no one would be there. So just kind of
creepy.
And there's also the sensors would be tripped while the rides were empty often.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
And then also
seems a little suspicious.
I know. And she was also saying how people, like going back to the scattering ashes thing, like the Haunted Mansion, it's so common for people to try to dump ashes there that Disney World has put in like sensors or silent wire trips.
Yes.
So that when people try to like spread them or like move their arm like to, you know, throw the stuff out, it trips the wire and then they stop the ride and evacuate everyone. So I just thought that was interesting.
That's wild.
I know. They have it down to science.
It's crazy that it's so popular that they actually like
have done something about it. Well, she was also saying that apparently once a month people are caught attempting to scatter ashes.
Once a month?
Mm-hmm. Like attempting. I mean, that doesn't mean that, but yeah, like at least trying to. So I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I just feel like that's not I don't know. I would not personally be scattered in Disney World.
Yes, agreed.
Lake Buena Vista.
I know, it's right there. It's
right there.
I know.
And also, we've said before, we think that spirits can travel. Like, I don't think they're
they can go and visit Disney if they want. Yeah. They're not bound to one spot, hopefully.
But, speaking of rides that people scatter ashes on.
Yes.
Now let's move on to It's a Small World.
Oh, God. Okay. This one's even scarier.
So, the ride description is... Take a tour all over the globe and explore scenes from each country where little animatronic dolls show off different aspects of their culture. And a fun fact about this ride is it was designed for the 1964-1965 World Fair in New York City. And the original ride that was debuted at the fair is in Disneyland, but an exact replica is in Disney World.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
But, of course... This plays on a super popular fear, which is the fear of dolls. And people are, like, super divided on this ride. And grown adults will sometimes have, like, panic attacks on this ride.
Oh, my Lord.
So it's kind of like there's, like, a little bit of a disturbing energy on this ride.
Unblinking.
Yeah, just, like...
Tiny little dolls.
Yeah.
And the song, like, playing repeat over and over and over.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, like, a happy song, but in other contexts... that song could be really creepy, you know?
Yeah.
So, another creepy fact is at night, all the lights and music are turned off, but the dolls keep moving.
That is disgusting. That is actually terrifying.
So, it's because of older mechanics in the ride and hydraulics. I guess they're scared that if they shut the ride like down and stop it moving, it won't start back up in the morning. But cast members say that you can hear the dolls moving, which makes it even scarier.
I would not want to be assigned to that.
No, me either.
I would quit the Disney College program if that was my assignment.
I wonder if they, like, haze the new cast members by making them work It's a Small World.
Probably.
Oh, could you imagine? The dolls also have, quote-unquote, growing hair, and they have to get a haircut 1 to 2 times a year. It's because the humidity makes the yarn stretch, but that is so... freaky to me.
But it also makes you wonder, like, how often... I mean, these have been here for, what, like, a couple decades, and there's the yarn is still stretching? Like, how much yarn was possibly in their head?
I wonder that a lot.
That's nasty. That is actually vile.
Ugh. Sometimes, this is the freakiest thing, cast members will come back in the morning and find dolls in countries that they don't belong in.
Oh my God.
Is that not scary?
Oh, that is terrifying.
So, here's a real, like, quote-unquote real story from Small World, which could explain why it's haunted, besides the ashes.
Okay.
So, in 1999, It's a Small World was evacuated for reasons unknown to riders and park guests. Supposedly, someone snapped a picture on their way off the ride, and you can clearly see someone hanging from a noose on the ceiling.
Oh my God.
We're going to post it on Instagram with a trigger warning, obviously. This incident was never confirmed by Disney, though, and they keep a very extensive record of incidents that occur on property.
Okay.
So,
I mean, how would someone even get up there?
I don't know, but if you look at the picture...
Can I see it?
It's pretty convincing. Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
So, like I said, that incident was never confirmed, but a confirmed incident that did happen on this ride was a paraplegic man was stuck on the ride for 30 minutes and the song never stopped playing.
Oh,
because the ride was evacuated and they couldn't get him off the ride for 30 minutes. So he had to sit there listening to It's a Small World for 30 minutes.
Also, why couldn't they get him off the ride?
You would think that if Disney employees are, like, trained to handle something such as ashes being scattered, they might be trained to
someone get off the ride.
A handicapped man get off the ride, yeah. But Disney awarded him $8,000 for his trouble, so
Not enough.
Honestly, if I had to do that for 30 minutes and make $8,000, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would pay for your trip, so...
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
Barely.
barely.
Oh, another little question for you.
Yes?
Did you ever read the series Kingdom Keepers?
No.
Oh my god, it was such a good book.
What is it?
It's about this group of Disney teens that are selected for the special Disney program.
Okay.
And they're, like, supposed to be hologram guides throughout the park.
Ooh.
And apparently there's a glitch in the technology that when they scan them in as the hologram, it allows them to enter the park in their, like, dreams at night.
Ooh.
And there's this one creepy part where the dolls from It's a Small World come to life and attack them.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That would happen.
It would. I honestly would not be surprised. Now, moving on to my favorite ride, because we're sticking with the Magic Kingdom haunts for now. Pirates of the Caribbean. So on this ride, you take a scenic boat ride through Port Royal as pirates and civilians search for Captain Jack Sparrow. And you see iconic things from the movie like the Black Pearl and scenes from Tortuga and Isla de los Muertos, Treasure Room. So the movie was actually based off the ride, and then the Captain Jack animatronic was added later.
Is there any other instance of a ride being, a movie? I guess Jungle Cruise.
I was just about to say Jungle Cruise, I think.
There's apparently going to be a Haunted Mansion ride. Or
there's
a Haunted Mansion movie coming out.
A Haunted Mansion movie. And then I thought a while back there was supposed to be a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad movie, but I could be making that up.
I would watch it.
Me too. I love that ride.
That's awesome. So
there is one specific ghost that haunts Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
And his name is George. And his backstory goes that during the construction of the ride, he was a welder and he died. And different accounts say that he fell from the roof or he was crushed by machinery. And that story's not corroborated by Disney, but it's a favorite among the cast members. Okay. And it's said that after his death, George's mother would visit and then ride the ride alone on repeat, which is really sad.
Yeah.
George still resides in the ride, and it's said that he has to be shown respect by cast members. So every morning, the morning group of cast members comes in, and they have to say good morning, George.
Okay.
And then the evening crew comes in, and they have to say good night, George, when they're shutting off the ride.
Okay.
If they don't do this, the ride malfunctions the entire day.
He appreciates mutual respect.
You know what?
He gave his life to
make
help
this
make this ride.
Exactly.
It's the least they could do.
But if the ride starts to malfunction, it's like a common argument between the evening and the morning cast members because they're like, "You didn't say goodnight to him last night. This must be why."
No, you didn't say good morning. Okay, that's funny. A little chicken or the egg situation.
Exactly. So there's one landmark in the ride, and it's called George's Tower. And it's the windowed tower in the scene with the burning town and, like, the one where they're dunking the man repeatedly in the well.
Right.
And George's initials are marked at the base of this tower, and no matter how many times they're covered or painted over, they always reappear.
Interesting.
There's also a door behind my favorite scene in the ride, where there are inmates in the jail, and then there's a dog, and he's holding the keys to the cell door in his mouth, and they're trying to get him to come over.
Yeah.
There's a door behind that scene And if the tower light is lit and the door is open when cast members open the ride, it's a sign that George is feeling a little frisky.
Ooh.
And he's going to cause some chaos on that day.
Okay.
So he is known to unclip women's bras and smack their butt.
George! That's not very chivalrous. I was just starting to like him.
He'll haunt cast members that are dressed as pirates, so they'll get calls on their cell phone from no one, or they'll like have malfunctions. Sometimes they'll see like a full-bodied apparition of George.
That's terrifying.
And if someone loudly complains on the ride about the ride, he'll like harass them their entire day at the park.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
Overall he sounds fun. Like a fun dude.
So
he's making the most of his afterlife.
He really is. Like, he's enjoying his time haunting the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Alright, so I know that you have a fun little fact about this ride.
Yes, I do. So this is technically about the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland, which is in California. But in the original Pirates of the Caribbean ride out in California, I guess the Imagineers were, constructing the ride, and they had skeletons that, were made of plastic or whatever.
Yeah.
But they just thought they, didn't look realistic enough. So apparently, UCLA's anatomy department gave the Imagineers a couple of real skulls and skeletons.
Creepy.
To, bolster up the ride and make it look a little more realistic because they were real skeletons.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think this caused some controversy.
I'm sure.
And they, especially if Disney bought them, that's kind of...
It's kind of a little weird.
Yeah, it's not
If
ethical.
you donated your body to science and it ended up in a Disney World ride, there might be some people that aren't too happy about that.
Yeah. So there was a kind of a fuss. Eventually, the skulls and skeletons were all returned for a proper burial. But it is said that there's up to 3 skeletons or skulls on the California ride still.
Did you know that there's one real skull in the Disney World ride too?
Which one is it?
It's the one right before you get to the treasure room. It's it's on a plaque.
Okay.
Or not a plaque. It's set on the wall.
Okay. Oh my god. No, I didn't know there was also one in
Florida. Crazy? Yeah.
Wow.
There's also a group of ghosts on this ride called the Ladies. Sounds like a fun little party group.
Wait. On this ride.
Yes,
okay.
on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
They were just enjoying their day at Disney. They were sitting in the front row, and then the boat derailed and they died.
Is that confirmed though?
I haven't found a real record of it, but cast members will say that at this spot in the ride, which is apparently the spot where you can see the Black Pearl, Captain Barbossa firing on.
Oh yeah, that one's
Port
freaky.
Royal.
Yeah.
Cast members say at this spot in the ride, riders get a sick feeling and they'll feel like a cold spot.
Oh my god. Huh. That's kind of sad.
I know. Now, the next ride is the People Mover, which I actually don't think I've ever been on.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
It's so fun. It's really fun.
So that's the one where it just takes people around on the track for scenic views of the park.
Yeah, and you get to see everything from above, and I think you go through Space Mountain at some point.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so it's actually really fun. If you need to get out of the heat for a minute,
nice.
It's really fun.
I've heard that is a very good way to relax while still getting your rides
the Disney experience.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently there's a little boy ghost who
another
was trying to jump into another cart and died. But he's a full body apparition that sets off emergency exit alarms sometimes.
Wow, that's really freaky.
I
feel like I actually did read about a young kid that tried to jump into another cart, so I guess that's what that is.
A lot of the things at Disney, and we'll say this again when we go into some of the real life incidents, a lot of the deaths at Disney are caused by people blatantly ignoring safety warnings.
Rules. Yeah.
On Main Street, USA, Roy Disney apparently walks down the street and he smiles at the park that he helped create.
Aww.
Isn't that cute?
Yes.
His brother, Walt Disney, he haunts Disneyland. And it's because Walt Disney actually never got to see...
Yeah, Roy took over after Walt died.
I actually have a short timeline of events, a brief history.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that right now. So in 1959, Walt Disney decided that a second sister resort is needed to Disneyland, which had opened in 1955 in Anaheim, California.
Okay.
So he started looking for potential sites. He considered Niagara Falls, St. Louis, and Aspen, which is like, those are very different.
St. Louis being a spot for Disney World.
So he eventually settles on Orlando, Florida because of the weather and the land prices. But he was nervous that land prices would increase when people found out what it was being purchased for, so the company acquired several plots of land right next to each other under a bunch of different dummy companies.
Smart.
Very smart. But it was treated as a super top secret operation referred to as the Florida Project.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's an excellent movie. I would highly... It's not about Disney per se, but it's a really good movie. On November 15th, 1965, Walt publicly reveals plans for Walt Disney World with Florida Governor Hayden Burns.
Okay.
December 15th, a month and a year later, 1966, Walt Disney dies from lung cancer and a circulatory collapse.
Aww.
His last words, which is like kind of weird, they were Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Who's an actor that had just signed a deal with Disney Studios. So he was in a ton of John Carpenter movies.
Okay.
Who's kind of like, so The Thing, he's the main actor in The Thing.
Okay.
If you've ever seen Miracle, which is that Disney movie about the 1980
baseball
U.S.
or something
Olympic hockey team that won in Lake Placid against
I don't know
the Soviets.
Movies. Okay.
I don't love sports movies. That's
a good one.
Top 15 movies of all time.
Wow.
It's so good. And this is the one that I recognize him from, which is kind of sad. He's the dad in Sky High.
And he was Walt Disney's last
dad.
words.
Yes.
Wow. That is wow. Look at Kurt Russell.
So, Walt's brother Roy takes over the plans for the park, and on October 1st, 1971, Magic Kingdom opens.
Aww.
So, Roy Disney dies, sadly, 3 months later, but he dedicated the park Walt Disney World so that everyone would know his brother's name and legacy.
Aw, that was very sweet of him.
I know. Disney was a phased construction, so they opened different parks and resorts and like the water parks in different years.
Yeah.
So some of the important years were obviously 1971, Magic Kingdom, the Contemporary Resort, Polynesian Resort, and Fort Wilderness Resorts, and then also the 2 Disney golf courses, Palm and Magnolia golf courses.
Wow, a lot of stuff opened in that first year.
1974, Discovery Island opened, and then 1976, River Country Water Park opened, but then that was closed in 2001,
right.
Which I think you're going to get into a
yes.
little bit. 1982, Epcot, which consisted of Future World and the World Showcase, opened. 1989 was MGM and Typhoon Lagoon. 1998 was Animal Kingdom, and then in the recent years, Pandora, Toy Story Land, and Galaxy's Edge have opened.
Okay.
And then 2020 was another big landmark because the park closed for the 8th time in history due to COVID, which is kind of sad. But.
Remember, but they took a while. I remember there was like a lot of criticism. It was either like they opened up right after. I don't know. I just remember everyone was like mad at Disney for some reason. I
do remember
something with that.
I follow this account on Twitter that's like fake Disney tweets, and I can't remember.
Oh my god, the one that's like making or like, it's like
there was one tweet during the pandemic. Died. It was like every other day they'll tweet out like Goofy has died. Like, and
it looks like the handle is something like legit.
Yes.
And people like
it's like Disney Park News or something
it's
like
so
that.
Funny.
And then they tweeted out during the pandemic. I think it was like either like I think they said that they had sacrificed Goofy.
Yes.
For like an end to the pandemic. I was that account kept
oh my
me
god, we have to look
entertained.
It
I'll put it in the show notes because it's really funny. But anyway, so Walt Disney haunts Disneyland apparently because he never got to see Disney World.
Okay.
So he apparently haunts his apartment on Main Street above the fire station. So they have like this lantern that remains on in the window.
Okay.
Because whenever Walt Disney was in the park while he was alive, he would turn the lantern on to signal to cast members that he was in the park.
Okay.
And it was like kind of their little secret code.
Okay. Aw. Cute.
And then when he died, it remains on all the time because it's like he's still in the park.
Okay.
You know? Which is a sweet sentiment.
Yeah.
But a maid came in one time and I guess hadn't been briefed that it stays on, so she turned it off, and then she heard a disembodied voice say, "I'm still here."
That is terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Sounds like an old man would do, though.
Yeah, I know. So both Roy and Walt have apparently been caught on surveillance walking down Main
Really?
Street. Isn't that crazy?
Cool. Yeah, that's really awesome, actually. Like, it's not a sad haunt. It's like a cool haunt.
It is a cool haunt. Most of these Disney haunts are really sad or scary.
Yeah.
They're pretty
jolly.
Yes, they're like fun lore. So now we're gonna hop on over to another park.
All right, we're leaving Magic Kingdom. Where are we going?
Epcot.
Ooh.
So there's only one record of like one haunt in Epcot, and that is on Mission Space. It's a spaceship control simulator, and everyone has like a different role. Like someone's like the engineer.
Yeah, that one's way too stressful. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. There's like one legend that says that there's a long-haired little girl and a little boy running on and off the ride sometimes.
Okay.
That's it. And there's apparently no real backstory, but there's like a real life incident that we'll get to later.
Okay.
That could be maybe like.
I think I know what you're talking about because I remember I was not allowed to ride Spaceship. I was not allowed to ride
Mission Space
for like the longest time. Yes.
Yeah, because it happened in 2005.
Yeah, so that was right around when we were kids.
Hollywood Studios, the Tower of Terror. Obviously, there's gonna be some.
Doesn't surprise me.
That's basically a drop ride, and it's themed to be like a haunted elevator in a Hollywood hotel. It's said to take you into the Twilight Zone, so like Rod Serling narrates it. Yes, right? Correct. There is like this ventriloquist doll that sits at the very exit of the ride.
I've seen this
his
guy.
name is Caesar. And it's kind of the same thing with George. Cast members must say hi to Caesar or the ride malfunctions.
Okay.
And it's based off a Twilight Zone episode where a dummy manipulates a ventriloquist. So it's like a role reversal.
Okay.
And convinces him to commit crimes.
Okay. Creepy.
I know, it is creepy.
And I've seen Caesar the doll, and he's creepy looking.
He is creepy looking.
No offense.
He's like the typical, like, if you think of a ventriloquist doll, like that is what he looks like.
Jinx.
There's also said to be the spirit of a bellhop that haunts the Tower of Terror, and apparently he died of a heart attack while loading passengers on Platform D. Oh. So if you're on Platform D, apparently you can see flickering lights sometimes the attraction will freeze. There's like off-cue ghosts that like aren't supposed to be in the ride. Allegedly. And there have been shadow figures caught on surveillance.
Creepy, okay.
There are no haunts at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, which is just because it's newer.
I don't really
carry
see
the same vibe.
No, it doesn't. It's not like not to be like it's not like the classic Disney,
but it's
like,
not.
It's really not.
It's a newer one.
But now we're gonna get into like some real life Disney incidents. So Sam, do you want to go over the history of Disney's River Country?
Yes, I would love to. So Disney's River Country, it's abandoned, and I feel like it's one of the most well-known like spots for lore, I guess. Like there's lots of rumors around this place, and like
definitely
it seems spooky. But when you actually look, like when I actually did look into it, like yes, there are some really sad things that happen, but like it's not really known to be haunted. I think the big allure is that it's abandoned, and that instead of like, Disney covers their tracks very well. Like, they're very neat, but with this, they kind of just like let nature take it over.
Yeah, like they abandoned it?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, a little history on River Country. It's 1973. Disney's facing low attendance. They've just opened.
Right.
And they're facing low attendance because there's an economic depression, something with oil.
Interesting.
And they want to build some smaller, newer attractions outside of the park itself so that people can maybe afford to go to those if they can't necessarily afford to go to Disney World.
Okay.
It was loosely based on Tom Sawyer. Huh. So, he's like that mischievous little rascal from Mark Twain, right?
Yes.
Him? Okay. So 3 years later, it's 1976, River Country opens. Interesting fact, President Ford's daughter took the first slide down.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it was like a big thing, very exciting. The water came directly from a lake, I don't know if it was Lake Buena Vista, but it was a nearby lake.
I would think.
But there was a filter system in there to ensure that the water wasn't stagnant or didn't have any like weird bacteria in it.
Okay.
So it's for a while there, it's like super popular. People love it. They're making money. And it actually gets so popular that, you know, it's only 5 acres of land and less than 5,000 people can visit per day. Like it can only fit so many people. So it starts to get too popular for its own good, and Disney's like, okay, like we should look into, you know, opening something new. So they opened Typhoon Lagoon in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And then Blizzard Beach later.
Oh, love me some good Blizzard Beach.
Yeah, right? So as they start making new water theme parks, because this was actually, a River Country was like the first water theme park, or I guess I should say themed water park, like in the world. It was the first of its kind. It was a big deal. So after Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are on the scene, like, you know, River Country starts to fade into the background. Right. The water wasn't since it came directly from the river, the water wasn't heated. So even if it was like a little bit chilly that day, like they would have to completely shut down the park because the water was so cold. Yeah, attendance is way down. It's not as fun or bright and shiny as the new parks. Yeah. So in the late 90s, attendance is like way down, like barely anyone's going. And they shut down in the early 2000s, not permanently, but they just shut down for, I guess, like the season. And then in 2005, I think maybe it's like 2 years later, after it not being open for 2 years, they officially were like, okay, it's closed. It's not coming back. But I believe it's to this day. If it's not to this day, then then
semi-recently.
Yeah, semi-recently. People do wander and like take videos and
like
stuff.
Like urban explorers.
Exactly. So people say that the music is still playing. The lights remained on for a long time.
That is so
freaking
creepy.
And it's been taken over by nature. So I mean, like, it's like, I think it's near like Disney, like the Disney wilderness, like the wilderness cabins and stuff. You know how you can
camp? Yes. Yeah.
So people have like been able to find it and look around, and it looks really creepy. But
I'm sure those people that are like caught are banned from Disney.
Oh my god, yeah. And I'm like, it's not worth it.
I would love to go look.
I know. So I would say the big urban legend around this is that River Country got shut down. They ended up closing because a child was swimming in the water and got like a brain-eating bacteria,
like an amoeba,
and died. Yes.
Oh god.
So that's like when I think of River Country, that's what I always thought of, and that's why I thought it closed down. And this did happen. A child was swimming in the water, and I guess the river filtration like wasn't doing its job.
Oh my god.
And he got a brain infection and he died. But this actually happened in the 80s.
So it wouldn't
and
make
this
sense
place didn't close till 2005. Okay. So there was like a good like 20-something year span. But I do think that people look back at that and maybe saw it as like the beginning of the end.
Probably.
Still really, really sad and horrible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't technically the reason that it closed. I just think there was dwindling interest. Huh. So, yeah, pretty interesting, right?
That is really interesting. I would love to go explore that. And then also, it reminds me of, you know, like Reddit Creepypasta?
Yes.
Where it's like the fake creepy stories.
Which I didn't know. I didn't realize that those were fake for like the longest time. I thought they were real. I think some of them are. Okay.
I don't know. But there was one going around like a while back about another water park or like resort that Disney had abandoned called Mowgli's Place.
Ew, okay.
And I'll link it in the show notes, but it's actually horrifying.
Oh my god.
It's like so scary to read, but it's about this guy who like goes and explores it, and he finds like, it said that Disney had a reptile house at this place, and they just like, when they shut down, they released all of their like snakes into the wilderness, and then they had like an aquarium that had sharks in it, and they like dumped it in the nearby thing. And then he like finds his way into a bunker, and he finds like these vintage Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse like costumes
or whatever.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
And he picks up the Donald Duck one, and the human skull falls out of it.
Oh god.
And then, like, the Mickey Mouse one comes to life and, like, chases him out of there. And so all of the signs that say, like, abandoned by Disney, as he's running out, he notices that they've changed, and now they say abandoned by God.
Oh my god!
It is so scary.
People's imagination.
It's crazy.
That is terrible. That's the scariest thing we've heard so far, besides the dolls.
It's really creepy. So, now bringing you back to reality a little bit, let's acknowledge some of the actual, like, besides the brain-eating amoeba.
Right.
Some of the real-life Disney incidents. Mm-hmm. So I just want to put a little disclaimer here, mostly so that we don't get sued, but also just, acknowledging that, like I said before, many, if not all of these incidents occurred because of a pre-existing condition, like medical condition, or safety precautions being blatantly ignored. It's not Disney's fault. It's also not the victim's fault. These incidents are unfortunately just circumstances that are somewhat inevitable when you have 50,000 patrons per day coming through your doors.
Yeah, people are gonna eventually, there's gonna be probably at least a few people that die.
Exactly.
Statistically speaking.
Disney is completely safe if you heed the safety warnings and know your own limits. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, let's talk about some of the incidents. In Animal Kingdom, there were 2 separate guests that died of heart attacks after riding Expedition Everest and Dinosaur, which is that, like, scary
That one's fun. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, no, that's the energy ride.
Yeah.
You're right.
But there is a dinosaur ride.
Dinosaur ride is fun. And that happened in 2005 and 2007. Both had pre-existing conditions.
Wow, okay.
2 cast members died on Primeval Whirl.
Wow. Yeah, that's one of those, like, the Triceratops.
Yeah. One fell from a restricted area and hit her head, and then one died during ride maintenance.
Okay.
Another fun fact, but fact about Animal Kingdom is they have the only bathroom doors that lock in the park, just in case an animal gets out and people need to barricade themselves in the bathroom.
What were you just saying about Disney being safe? Oh my gosh.
But that's never happened. So
okay.
Hollywood Studios, they had OSHA complaints about safety equipment in the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular.
Okay.
In 2006, a 12-year-old boy died after riding Rock and Roller Coaster, and then in 2005, a 16-year-old girl died after riding Tower of Terror, and both had pre-existing conditions.
Aww.
I know, very sad. In Epcot, 194 different riders were treated by paramedics after riding Mission Space.
Yeah, this is why my mom will not let me ride it.
It is a very disorienting ride.
Oh my gosh.
But
it's not worth it.
In 2005, a 4-year-old boy died after riding Mission Space. He had a pre-existing condition.
Aww.
And then in 2021, a 58-year-old man died after riding Spaceship Earth, and he also had a pre-existing condition.
Okay. Wow.
Then there was also this incident that I came across, and there's really not a whole lot of information about it, but a man apparently shot himself outside of the park after his girlfriend broke up with him in Epcot.
Oh, wow. Well, that's probably why Disney probably was like, we don't want this.
Yeah, don't want to be affiliated with that.
Wow.
But it is really sad.
I know. These are horrible.
I know. In Magic Kingdom, in 2017, there was a 54-year-old man that died after riding Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. He had pre-existing conditions. 2014, 22-year-old girl died after riding It's a Small World, also had pre-existing conditions. In 1977, a 4-year-old boy drowned in the moat outside of Cinderella's castle, which is horrifying. Yeah.
Wait, is the moat filled with... I guess it is filled with water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's that one is really, really sad.
Yeah.
If you remember back in 2020... the Jungle Cruise boat sank, and then that TikTok went viral of it sinking.
Yes, I do vaguely recall that. Yes. Wow. 2020, man.
That one's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Because no one got hurt.
Yeah.
In 2005, a 77-year-old woman had a stroke on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
But it was said, her family members came out and said that it wasn't an unexpected death.
Okay.
Like, it was kind of, they saw it coming.
Okay.
And people have also lost fingers on this ride, apparently. So that's why they say keep your
hands and arms,
your arms and legs and inside extremities inside the cart.
Their fingers. What the heck?
I know. There were 4 separate deaths on Space Mountain. All of them had pre-existing conditions. On on Splash Mountain, a 37-year-old man felt sick and tried to exit the ride while it was moving, fell, and then was struck by the next cart.
Oh,
I know.
Wow. That's
that
horrible.
That one really
These are rough.
Puts a pit in my stomach. Well, we're done with that now. Those are really all the incidents.
Yeah, wow.
Which, honestly, for operating for over 50 years and having 50,000 patrons come in every day and not being closed a single day, there's something to say for this relatively small amount of incidents.
Exactly. It's just the fact that I guess everyone knows when someone dies at Disney because it's a huge deal.
Exactly. Well, now to get back onto the more fun side of things. Stuff.
Yes.
Let's talk about some creepy Disney conspiracy theories.
There are many, yes. Let's do it.
So the first theory, which is I would argue that is probably the most popular theory, is that Disney was cryogenically frozen before his death.
We've all heard this.
Yes, and there's also a second part to this theory which I hadn't heard of before, but apparently there's a theory that his head is underneath the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
I heard it was under the castle, Cinderella's castle or something.
Whatever it is, it's weird.
Well, I guess he would probably be under Disneyland, right?
Yeah,
because that was his park.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also there's a conspiracy theory that's just made popular, and that it's Disney named the movie Frozen because they wanted to cover up search results. So when you search now Disney Frozen on Google, the Frozen movie pops up and not anything about Disney being frozen.
If they did think that far ahead and that's why they did that, then I have to give them credit. That's
honestly
so smart.
That's so smart.
But I don't think that's why.
Do you think that Disney is frozen somewhere?
No.
I also don't think
I will tell you why. So I was watching a video today and it was explaining how Walt Disney, apparently after Walt Disney died, either the man who invented cryogenics or, he was the CEO or something of a big cryogenics company. And he said something in the newspaper along the lines of, Walt Disney wanted his body to be frozen, he was planning on freezing his body. But he really missed out because he didn't write it down in his will, so he was cremated. Disney. And he was saying Disney missed out on such a great opportunity. But he wanted to get frozen, so bring your people in and freeze them. So I think he almost was using it as a marketing ploy, look at this super famous guy who wanted to get
probably.
Yeah. But I don't believe it.
And weren't you saying earlier that Disney was obsessed with death?
Yes, he definitely had a very macabre side, which honestly isn't surprising when you look around at a lot of the themes in Disney. So he said that his death obsession apparently began when he was on his family's farm in Missouri when he was a child, and there was an owl, and I guess he grabbed it. The story wasn't very clear. I think we missed a few steps, but apparently he grabbed the owl, and the owl started to flap and struggle and claw at him. So he freaked out, and then he stomped and to get it to stop, and then it died, and it stayed with him his whole life. I think that scarred him for life. That's where his weird fascination with
that poor little owl.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that sad? So I don't know what. That was a weird story, but... So another interesting story about Walt and death is that Walt went to a party, and there was a fortune teller at the party. I guess that used to be instead of having strippers, they would have fortune tellers telling you your fortune. And the fortune teller told him that he was going to die at age 35. And this apparently freaked him out, which...
That would freak me out, too.
Yeah, that's why I never want to get, my cards read. I'm I don't want to know... those scary things.
I got my palm read, I think.
Yeah.
In Maine. And from what I can remember, the reading was 100% spot on.
That's why I don't want to know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Though?
Scary.
It is crazy. And then also this reminds me of Natalie Wood. When she was a little girl, I think she was 7 years old. Mm-hmm. Her mom took her to a fortune teller. Weird. And I know, weird, right? But the fortune teller was oh, you're gonna drown young, and then she died under suspicious circumstances.
So weird. That's why I don't know. It just scares me.
Yeah.
But he was super paranoid after hearing that he was gonna die at age 35.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know he didn't, but I think a lot of people think that that's why he was able to be so successful at such a young age and get so much done. Because he was like, I only have this much time left. I only have this much time left.
Yeah.
And then even probably once he passed 35 years, he was like,
it's a ticking time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can kind of look at it in like a positive way because it's like he made the most of the time he had.
Yeah.
And then this is probably, I think, the most interesting. I don't know if you know this. I don't know how well known this is, but I thought it was crazy. So Snow White was like the first like huge runaway success of Disney.
She's my favorite princess.
I know she is. So that was a huge success for them. Disney, Walt Disney and Roy Disney used the money that they made from the movie to buy their parents a beautiful house in North Hollywood.
Aww.
I know, very, very sweet. It's like the dream of a child to provide this beautiful house. So the parents are moved in. They've been living there for a while. And apparently they had complained of a strange smell that was coming from the furnace.
Oh, no.
And a housekeeper comes in later, and she finds them lying on the floor.
Oh, God.
And she drags them out of the house. Fortunately, Walt and Roy's father survives, but their mother does pass away. Aww. So Walt always blamed himself because he was the one that bought her the house, and there was the carbon monoxide leak.
That's genuinely I don't think I ever said this. Sad.
But yeah, it was a carbon monoxide leak, so he blamed himself. He was like, if I hadn't bought that house, maybe she would still be alive. And a lot of people think that that's kind of why so many Disney characters don't have mothers. Like, it's almost become a meme of like, oh, like, no Disney
Disney princesses. Yeah.
So just something interesting, and really sad actually. So death is a part of everyone's life, but it really like reared its head a lot. Throughout his life.
I wonder if she was the inspo for Bambi.
I know that's what people were saying. Yeah.
That's horrible.
I know.
I can't watch Bambi. Like, to this day, I can't watch it.
It's so sad.
It is so sad.
I also think it's kind of boring. Sorry.
Alright, so our next Disney conspiracy theory was that this one actually takes place in Disneyland. So I know I said that we were gonna keep things to Disney World, but I just thought this one was so interesting. So there's like a secret club called Club 33, and it's just for like top of the top members. I don't know how else to put that. But apparently people think that it used to be a meeting place for like the Freemasons / the Illuminati.
Oh. Okay.
That's all I have on that one. That was just a theory that was put forward.
Interesting.
And then, of course, there was like the conspiracy that the Mowgli's place that we mentioned earlier was actually a real place.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is this based off of anything?
No, it's not.
Creepy.
But that one was proven to be fake. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
The author was probably like, hey, I made this up.
Tee. So I know we covered like a lot of dark stuff and like especially with the real life incidents. So I just thought a fun way to end this would be going over like some fun behind the scenes Disney facts.
Absolutely.
Because I was telling you earlier, but my favorite part of going to Disney is like a month to like a few weeks before I go, and I'm just scouring the Pinterest boards for like the best places to eat, like the funnest facts, like
the hidden Mickeys.
The hidden Mickeys. I had a huge book of hidden Mickeys when I was a kid, and I would like go around the park looking for them.
It's so fun.
Hidden Mickey searching and pin trading.
Oh my gosh, we love pin trading.
Best parts about Disney. All right, so let's talk about some of these. These are definitely fun facts. Like, I love these like little facts, you know. All right.
Do you like these little facts?
I do like these little facts.
Let's hear some of these little facts.
Okay. Our first little fact is on Main Street, USA, they have these things called smellitizers.
Ooh.
And they're basically like fans that blow out enticing smells like popcorn, cotton candy, like fresh baked goods.
Okay.
That like convince customers to buy more snacks. Because if you're walking down Main Street and you smell like caramel corn, you're gonna be like, wow, you know what would really hit right now? Some
caramel corn.
Exactly. So
that's so interesting.
It's like one of those weird marketing ploys, like almost like how in Vegas casinos they'll pump in like pure oxygen to get your adrenaline racing, and then they like won't put in any clocks in there, so you could be in the casino for like 4 or 5 hours and have no idea.
Have you ever been into the Atlantic City casino? I feel like it's like the Tropicana one, and it has like the sky, and it's like a bright blue sky even when it's nighttime.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like that.
It's like a little bit of like like messing with your mind.
I mean, the smellitizers absolutely have worked on me and will continue to work
Oh,
on
absolutely.
me.
If they come out with a smellitizer that's turkey legs,
forget it.
All bets are off.
Forget it. I will ask for a blade plug in a
I might double fist turkey legs.
I really am craving that.
I really am too. Is there like a way that we can make them at home?
Or do we have some sort of like nutrient deficiency that we're both craving them so much?
Maybe.
And yes, I'm sure we can make them at home. But
let's try it.
I don't like handling raw bird.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I'll do it. If you find me a recipe,
okay.
we'll figure it out. Then you
Fair
post
trade.
it on your food blog. Everyone go follow Fry Baby blog.
Except I haven't posted in like 4 weeks or months.
No way. You post more often than that.
I'll have to post something tonight so that
all your food looks so good.
Ooh,
We should go to Disney just, as
absolutely.
an opportunity for your blog to grow.
Yeah.
And for us to do some first-hand research for this podcast.
Write it off in the
I wouldn't consider myself a Disney adult, but
I would consider us closeted Disney adults.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I think Disney adults get a bad rep because like
some of them are weird.
Some of them take it to like another level. Which if Disney is your obsession, do what you love. I get it. I get where Disney can be like an obsession.
But like, is it really that much weirder than like football adults? Like,
no,
grown men like screaming
at the TV.
So listen,
we all have our things.
Exactly.
So I guess Disney, you know what? Maybe I am a Disney adult because I still love Disney.
We're loud and proud.
Because I'll tell you, like I think I mentioned in the last episode, when Zach and I went to Halloween Horror Nights, we would pass like these big billboards on the side of the highway for like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and like there was just like something where I was like, ooh, I wish we'd fit a day into Disney to our schedule,
You're like, Orlando, you're like, Universal's great, but we know we're the real.
I personally prefer Universal, but
to Disney,
yes,
you're insane.
Ride wise.
Oh, okay.
I think they both have their perks.
Yes,
but
you're not insane. You're not insane.
I'm more of a thrill seeker, I would think.
Okay.
But there's something about the nostalgia of Disney that is like untouched,
Fair enough.
Anyway.
I accept it.
So you may be wondering why you never see like Buzz Lightyear in Frontierland or like
talk about an anachronism.
Exactly. Or like Ariel, you never see her in like
Pandora.
Tomorrowland.
Wait,
yeah.
Well, those are 2 different parks.
Anyway, well, there's this secret system of utilidor corridors that go underneath the park, and that's how characters get around without being spotted, so as to not ruin the magic of like.
Yeah, and so I guess so there wouldn't be like 2 Alice in Wonderlands like crossing paths.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly.
Right? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, underground. That's a little spooky.
I know. So I don't know. I kind of want to like check that out.
I think that you can pay. I think you can pay like there's like some sort of like grand
for like
tour,
a VIP tour,
but it's like $5,000.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or something insane.
I don't want to see them that badly.
And I'm like, I don't want to ruin the magic. Either,
yes, me either.
Like, yeah.
There are secret menu items at almost all the eateries in the park. So
I like the sound of that.
Again, might have to make a trip out there.
Perhaps
business expense
baby.
Trip. So this doesn't happen anymore, but you used to be able to yell, "Andy's coming," and any Toy Story character would have to like drop everything that they're doing and just like hit the deck like they do in the movie.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that so cute?
But that's a hazard.
Exactly. One of the Woodies I think got hurt doing it, so then they discontinued it. So Walt Disney had this like, I don't know if it was like an obsession, but he like wanted everything to be like pristine in the parks, and it really is. Like
the parks are so pristine.
They're spotless. So there is like, this is a pretty well-known fact, but you're never more than 30 steps from a trash can, no matter where you are in the park.
Wow.
And there's no gum sold at any of the stores within the park, so that they wouldn't find like chewed gum on like the underside of the ride seats and like.
Yeah, that's smart.
I guess it was like a pet peeve of his, which honestly, that's really smart.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than stepping in gum or like having your hand graze some old gum.
That would ruin the magic of my day.
Exactly. Good for him. Smart.
This is one of my favorite facts. So Liberty Square was designed to be historically accurate for like the 18th century time period that is modeled after. Okay. So Liberty Square, if you can picture it, is...
This is in Magic Kingdom, right?
I sometimes in Magic Kingdom.
Mixed up with like the America Pavilion and Epcot.
Yes, it's Magic Kingdom. It's over where...
Haunted Mansion?
Yes, the Haunted Mansion, the steamboats. There's like a Liberty Tree Tavern.
Right.
Yes. So there is a sidewalk, and it's a red sidewalk, and then it has like almost like a river of brown running through it.
Interesting.
And that's totally intentional. It's designed to look like the raw sewage that was flowing down the streets of colonial America, because people would throw their like waste out the window. Okay. Is that not repulsive? Like human excrement?
I'm looking at that is too funny.
Isn't that gross, though?
Who eventually figured this out?
The Imagineers, they think of everything.
That is crazy. That's hilarious, honestly.
Another fun detail about Liberty Square is that all of the buildings have crooked shutters on them.
Okay.
And that's totally intentional. It's due to the fact that back in colonial America, there was a metal shortage because of the wars that were going on.
Okay.
So people would tie their shutters on with like leather straps, and then over time the leather would deteriorate, so that all of the shutters in colonial America were pretty crooked.
The detail, that is insane.
I know. Isn't that that like blew my mind.
I didn't know that one.
There's also no bathrooms, which I found out the hard
way
in Liberty Square, because there was no
tangled bathroom.
Yes. That's the nearest bathroom. So I was like sprinting through the park.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to keep people didn't go to the bathroom in the ages.
No, buttholes are actually like a recent invention. You may not know this. But they actually didn't have indoor plumbing.
Yeah, so they're like,
Disney's not gonna put like outhouses.
Like, this is not historically accurate.
And then also the Liberty Tree, which is like the big kind of like focal point of Liberty Square, has 13 lanterns in it.
Okay.
They represent the 13 colonies.
Of course.
The acorns from that tree have been used to grow over 500 other trees.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder where.
I don't know.
That's really cool. 500. Okay.
500 other trees. Obviously we were talking about the hidden Mickeys earlier. So there's like little decals of Mickey. They can be like in the rock formations. I know there's one like carved into the Ariel ride.
Yeah, right.
Or there's like a rock formation on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad that has one. Splash Mountain is like chock full of it.
Okay.
I do hope that's something that they keep in the retheming.
I'm sure they will, or maybe they'll add new ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I remember there was some sort of restaurant that you and I and our families went to. I want to say it was like Artist's Point or something. But I remember there was like a huge mural, and like one of our moms saw like a little hidden Mickey.
Yes, I vividly remember that. That was also the dinner where your dad ordered venison spring rolls, and he was like, "Here, do you want to try this?" And I tried it, and he didn't tell me what venison was, and then I ate it, and he was like, "You just ate Bambi," and I like literally was in hysterics.
That's so mean. That is so mean.
I was like,
have you had a couple drinks? What the hell?
Like father, like daughter. Because when me, you, and Caroline, who's also like our other oldest cousin, your sister, went to the Be Our Guest restaurant.
Oh, this is so funny.
Youngest sister, her favorite princess is Belle.
Yes.
And she ordered something called the Feast a la Beast.
And it was like meatloaf.
It was like literally meatloaf. And Caroline told her that she was, in fact, eating the beast.
She was like, she's like, Belle got mad at the beast and cooked him into a meatloaf. That's what you're eating. And Hope started crying.
She started like full-blown hysterics.
Oh my god. So many great family memories in Disney World.
Generational trauma. Anyway, so in addition to these hidden Mickeys, there's also in the Tangled bathroom area hidden Pascals.
Okay.
Which they're so fun to look for. They're like these little, which Pascal is the little chameleon. and they like blend in with the thing. There's like something like 13 of them.
Okay.
And I love looking for them every time I'm there.
I didn't even know that those existed. I'm looking them up right now.
They're adorable.
Oh yeah, they're really cute.
I know, aren't they they're so cute. Pascal's also like one of my favorite Disney sidekicks, I think. He probably is my favorite one.
The number one.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
Which also, Rapunzel, I'm going to say this once and then we'll move past it. Tangled deserves a bigger part of the park than
a bathroom. Yeah, that's like sinful.
It is.
Disgusting.
Oh, this is a fun fact. So all of the American flags that fly in the Disney parks are like incorrect.
Right.
They have like one less stripe or one less star, so
okay.
It's not actually an American flag. And they do this so that they don't have to take them down and fold them correctly every night.
Oh yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah. But there is one correct U.S. flag.
Okay. Do
you want to guess where that is?
I feel like I've heard this before. Is it like on Main Street, like towards the beginning, like when you walk in the park or something?
No, it's in the U.S. Pavilion in Epcot.
Oh, it is?
And it's actually a flag that was recovered from the rubble after 9/11.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that neat?
That's amazing.
I know.
Aww.
And then also like another little heartwarming thing that Disney did was they were a little bit concerned about their impact on the environment. Mm-hmm. So they bought, yeah, I know. They bought 12,000 acres of wetland just for pure conservation matters. So Disney owns like 12,000 acres of wetland that can't be touched by like developers or whatever.
That's nice.
Just to conserve it down in southern Florida.
That's awesome.
Which is really nice.
Next year they're going to be like,
just kidding.
Wetland Island. Wetland Kingdom. It was all an ulterior motive. I'm just kidding.
I love this fact. So, there's no buildings taller than 200 feet in Disney.
Okay.
Which is not super huge if you think about it.
Yeah, 200 feet not at all.
200 feet is not that tall. But any building that's taller than 200 feet in Florida requires a blinking red light on top for airline safety so that like an airplane doesn't accidentally fly into it.
So that would ruin the aesthetic.
Exactly. So all of them are like, I think the castle is something crazy like 199 feet. Like literally
they
just
went
to be
right
like,
up to it. Okay.
But they use this thing called forced perspective.
Right.
So if you're standing on the ground, you're looking up at the castle and like it looks super tall, but that's just because like the parapets on the tower are like actually smaller and narrower. So it looks like the higher it goes, the smaller it's getting.
Ah, interesting.
So if you actually took a look at it, it's totally disproportionate. But from where you're standing, from your vantage point, it looks like it's super tall.
I would love to go all the way up there and see how small everything really is.
Well, they have the Cinderella suite that you have to win in, like, you have to win your stay in the sweepstakes. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that neat? So since the park's opening, there have been over 1 million pairs of sunglasses in the Lost and Found.
Wow.
Which actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still insane.
Over the lifespan of the park so far, there have been like a couple of rides that have come and gone, like Snow White's Scary Adventures, which scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
That one was really scary.
Yes. And also one of them was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Which was a weird one, right?
Yeah.
I don't go into hell or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now that ride is now the Winnie the Pooh ride. But there's still like elements of Mr. Toad in the park. So they have a Mr. Toad tombstone at the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, that's funny. Okay,
Isn't
I think
that kind of
the Winnie the Pooh ride. I was like, how does this fit in?
But there's a mural on the wall in the Winnie the Pooh ride of Mr. Toad handing the deed to the ride to Winnie the Pooh.
That's very sweet.
Or Owl or some one of the Winnie the Pooh characters.
That's so cute.
Isn't that so cute? This is actually at Disneyland, but there's a pet cemetery behind Haunted Mansion, and it's fake. But
I was like,
isn't that kind of neat? And then at the queue, at Disney World, there's said to be like a ring embedded in the concrete, and it's supposed to be the murderous bride in the attic's ring.
Hatchaway, Ms.
Constance Hatchaway. And actually, my sisters and I have found it before.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so it's confirmed.
It's confirmed. It's there. And it's really neat. But you have to, like, keep your eyes peeled. It's near a garbage can.
Okay.
in the line.
See, usually when I'm on that line, I try and do a fast pass. Although I guess the fast pass isn't a thing anymore, so
yeah,
I'm sure
now it's like a genie pass or whatever.
I'm not paying for that. Just kidding, I probably will. But
I probably would, honestly, to get more rides in.
Yeah.
Disney actually, when Space Mountain opened, they brought in real astronauts to ride Space Mountain.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of neat?
Yes. Were they thrilled?
Yes, I think
so.
Or they were happy with it.
To real space.
Well, I mean, if you're an astronaut, I have to think that you live for the thrill of things.
That's true. Have you heard that urban legend that a kid stood up on Space Mountain and got like beheaded?
Yes.
That freaked me out so bad.
Because apparently, if you ride Space Mountain with the lights on, and you see how close like you are to the other rails, like it's not an issue. I think unless you're over like 6'7".
Okay.
But
all
like
tall
still,
kings and queens out there.
That's like one roller coaster that I'm not gonna put my hands up on.
I wouldn't either. I never do.
It would scare
me.
And
like in the flashing lights, like when you can see like the little like wires and like pipes and stuff, it's like
it's a little freaky. In Epcot, that living seas with Nemo and friends, you know how there's like the aquarium at the end?
At the end, yeah.
It's actually the second largest aquarium in the U.S. behind the Georgia Aquarium.
Really?
Yep.
Because I don't think I've ever actually gone through that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
If I could have one job like in Disney, I think it would be working at that aquarium.
Really?
Yes.
I would definitely be making the Mickey.
You wouldn't be like a character?
Oh, no, yes. I would want to be a Disney princess, or I would want to be making, like, the confectionery. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that sounds so fun. But I had no idea it was the second largest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was that huge. Interesting.
They have, like, a manatee nursery in there, too.
I guess I've never, like,
where they, like, nurse manatees back to health.
Aww,
it's kind of cute.
That's so sweet.
Also in the Epcot, like, pavilion over there, is that Living with the Land ride.
Right, of course.
I love that ride.
That one also gets a lot of hate, but it's so fun.
The most underrated ride in Disney.
It's so relaxing.
It is
so interesting.
so relaxing. And then you get to go, my, like, dream goal in life is to live in, like, one of that country house that they have, like, in that ride. And it has, like, the wraparound porch and, like, the chicken coop out back and, like, the dog on the porch. I would literally give anything to live in that house.
I'm gonna look up a picture of it right now.
It is so cute.
I haven't been on it in so long.
But anyway, so in that ride, they debut like some of greenhouses.
Okay.
And Disney's and like the aquaponics, which I think is so neat.
Well, you're into all the environmental
I know
stuff.
I am, but like I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
Disney actually grows 30 tons of produce per year that they serve in the parks.
Wow.
So, like, if you're, I know one of like the
That's
more popular, one of the more popular snacks is like the Animal Kingdom. They have like this corn on the cob.
Oh, right, yeah, some sort of like elote.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
And that's like grown at Disney.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, that would make me want it. That would make me even more
want
it
more.
The corn on the cob.
So I don't know why they don't advertise it.
I know.
But
you're doing advertising for that.
I am.
Want her coin. In Living with the Land, don't they have like Mickey-shaped like cucumbers or like something, right? Like something like that.
They'll use like so molds to like.
That's so cute.
Lock it in. I love that.
I would do that.
I know, me too.
Anything.
I always want to like get off that ride
yes,
and like walk
right?
around the
I know.
Apparently, people have done that before and they just like promptly got kicked out.
Yeah, I remember there was a viral TikTok maybe like last year of a woman who tried to get off of it.
Yes, I remember that.
Like she was trying to grab a cucumber or something funny, and then she got kicked off and then banned for life. I was
Tragic.
Like, oh, I know.
Imagine getting banned for life from Disney.
I was like,
that'd be sad.
She did what all of us weren't brave enough to do.
Oh, this I thought was interesting. So my favorite band of all time is U2.
Yes.
And they were originally supposed to be like the background track
instead of Aerosmith?
Rock and Roller Coaster instead of Aerosmith.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then it like fell through, but that's who Disney originally had in mind.
Do you think that U2 would have been a better fit?
Depending on what songs they used.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say you tell me if I'm wrong because I don't know a ton of U2 or Aerosmith. I know, I'm horrible.
Loser.
But I feel like U2 is like slightly more chill.
So U2 has a couple of songs that would like really get me pumped up on a roller coaster, but probably not as many, like,
heavy
hitters as Aerosmith.
Yeah, okay. That makes
like,
sense.
Aerosmith has, like, Dream On, like, Sweet Emotion. Like, that's not really, like, a banger.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's not. It's more of like a...
But, like, if they played, like, Elevation by U2...
Then that would be,
like, lit.
I could get my rock and roller coaster on.
Exactly. Precisely.
That's interesting. Wow.
This was, like, kind of a urban legend that was actually proven to be correct. So Disney has, like, this kennel of feral cats.
I have heard this.
that they release every night. Why I'm laughing.
Oh, the fact they're feral is so funny.
They just, like, let them out into the parks every night, and they take care of, like, any little Mickeys that are running around.
Oh, no, little Mickey Mouse and Minnie. Well, I'm just wondering. I've never seen, I know there's, like, the stereotype of, like, cats eating mice. I've never seen a cat eat a mouse or run
You
after
are
a mouse.
lucky.
Oh, really?
I've never had a cat. Actually, I had one when I was, like, first born. But
What?
I don't remember.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bubba.
Oh, Bin Bin and Bubba, of course.
Bubba. But I had a friend in middle school who had this cat, and the cat, like, hated me for whatever reason. I loved this cat. This cat did not love me back.
Apparently, when you love a cat, it like they can sense it and they don't love you back on purpose or something.
I have a scar on my arm still from this cat.
I was wondering why you were looking at your arm. I was like, what's going on over there?
I, like, one time was petting this cat, and I guess I, like, hit a spot that it didn't
hit a nerve, okay.
And I, like, turned to say something to my friend, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I turned back, and its, like, mouth was, like, clamped around my arm.
Ew!
I still love cats, though. I'm not trying to bash cats.
But is this the cat that you saw eat a rat?
Yes, I was, like, chilling outside by her pool one day, and I, like, heard this squeaking, and I, like, looked down, and the cat had, like, a mouse in its mouth.
And you're like, and
it, like,
was
brought...
like, oh
boy!
You're eating me!
But the cat, like, dropped the mouse, and the mouse actually, like, ran off.
Okay.
But I have seen it catch.
Oh my gosh. A cash.
So.
Wow, okay. The feral cat.
The feral cat.
Out. How do they make sure they round them all up before sunrise?
I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no idea. Maybe the cats are, like, smart enough that they figured out that, like, if they keep coming in and, like...
They're gonna keep getting fed.
Yeah.
The rodents.
But anyway.
That's hilarious. Hey, it sounds like it works because I've never seen a rodent at Disney.
Me either.
That wasn't supposed to be there, at least.
So Disney has this, like, really good reduce, reuse, recycle program where they just reuse their animatronics.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Some of the old Hall of Presidents animatronics are now in Spaceship Earth.
Oh.
So
as themselves or as other people?
Okay, so Dwight D. Eisenhower became a mandolin player.
Okay.
William Taft became an Egyptian priest.
This has got to be some type of appropriation, I think.
Teddy Roosevelt became a Roman senator.
Okay, as he should.
Franklin Pierce became a scholar sitting on the floor.
This is so weird.
Zachary Taylor became a Roman centurion.
Okay.
And John Tyler became a Turk.
Okay. That is so funny. So I guess after they put them and make them become what are you making?
Hold on. So John Adams became Johann Gutenberg.
What?
And then wait. John Adams became a monk. Oh. And then Johann Gutenberg and his printing assistants were once James Buchanan and Andrew Jackson.
Stop. That's hilarious. Serious. So I guess I guess I'm wondering why they take them out and then just replace, like, if Andrew Jackson is being turned into Johann Gutenberg, then, like, do they just make a new Andrew Jackson?
I guess so. Or maybe...
That's so funny.
I actually have never been in the Hall of Presidents, so maybe they make, like, a bust or something.
Okay, because that's going to be really funny in, like, a couple of years when, like, a George Bush, like, is, like, Cleopatra or something. Like... That's so funny. So also on the Hall of Presidents, I just want to cut in real quick.
Yes.
Do you remember this from a couple years ago when, I'm not trying to get into politics, but basically there was a conspiracy theory going around that people were assuming that Hillary Clinton was going to win the 2016 election, and so they had started to build her animatronic for the Hall of Presidents, and then Donald Trump won, and I guess Disney kind of had to like make do with like the frame that they already have. And if you look at a picture of like a side by side of the Donald Trump animatronic and Hillary Clinton, like they do look so similar. It's crazy.
Let me see.
Look it. So like that doesn't look like Donald Trump.
No, it doesn't.
And I mean, I guess
oh my god.
And apparently,
that definitely
Disney has like slightly changed the Trump but like animatronic.
It does kind of look
to
like
make it look
Hillary
more
Clinton.
like him. But like if you look at the side by side, the original one, like
look
it
look
looks,
at the nose and the lips.
I know. So I just think that is like the funniest thing ever. Like they had like
the nose, the lips, and like the setting of the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is very Clinton-esque. I just thought that was so funny. I had to mention that.
Oh my god.
Anyway, continue.
All right, our last little fun fact, and I thought this was a good one to end on because we are, of course, East Coast cons.
Cons. Careful.
We are, of course, East Coast haunts. So, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is the story of like runaway trains. Everyone knows like the miners during the gold rush,
right? Classic.
But apparently the backstory is supposed to be that the runaway trains are being crewed by like vengeful spirits that don't want them panning for gold on the mountain. So it has like kind of a paranormal
story. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. So apparently like the riders are supposed to be ghosts.
We are ghosts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That are defending their mountain
from those darn
panners.
Yeah, what were those people? What do they call them?
Miners.
49ers.
The 49ers.
Yeah. From the football team, the 49ers.
Get out of here.
That's so cute. I love that. I love how even when you don't think Disney necessarily, like we keep saying, it's the happiest place on earth, but there are so many like little spooky and macabre details in there.
Yes, it's really like there really truly is no other place like it on earth.
No. For better or for worse.
Like the history behind it is so interesting. Imagineers do not overlook one single detail.
Literally not a single, like you were saying with like the leather, the way that the windows were in the
or like
American
the
thing.
hidden Pascals, like
it's crazy.
They think of everything. Or like in the Beauty and the Beast restaurant, they have like the West Wing with the rose.
Yes, and like the gray stuff. Like oh, it's just so good.
Or like also I forgot to mention my other favorite ride is the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Classic.
And like at the end you can like see them dancing inside the cottage.
Aww.
And then if you like look back as you pass it, you can see an animatronic of the witch knocking on the door.
Oh,
it is like
I've only been on that once because
oh my God,
the
it's so
wait
good.
is always like 5 hours. That's so crazy.
And like the lines too.
Yeah,
they're like interactive now,
it's
so
like
you're
its
not
own
bored
ride
waiting
in
there.
itself.
Yes, it's Disney really is such a great place.
There's
like I love Disney. I love to think about taking my kids there someday.
I do too, and I like to go on their website and read the menus and look at the pictures.
Me too.
It's so fun, right?
We're gonna have to make a point to go back there.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometime soon.
Absolutely. Get ourselves some turkey legs.
Oh yes. Well, anyway, that about wraps it up, I think. But until next time, make sure you keep following our Instagram. We're gonna be posting. Well, this post is definitely already up.
So go check.
So go check it out. And if you have any paranormal stories or haunts of your own, if you think the childhood house that you grew up in is haunted, if you saw a ghost, if you have any fun story that you'd like to tell us, please write into us. We would love to hear it, and we might even feature you on the podcast.
Ooh.
You can do that through Instagram DM. You can do that through the form on our website, which is linked in our Instagram bio.
Of course.
You can do that through email, which is east.coast.haunts@gmail.com. It's also linked in our Instagram bio.
Yes.
If you are interested in perhaps hearing a bonus episode on haunts in the other Disney parks,
let us know.
Consider donating to our Patreon and let us know, because we'll have bonus content out soon and you're not going to want to miss it. We might have some merch coming out soon.
Ooh.
We've started looking into that. We're honestly just really excited that you guys are enjoying this podcast as much as we're enjoying making it.
We really appreciate all the feedback and all the love.
And the reviews, please keep leaving them. We love them. We love reading them.
It gives us an ego boost.
Yes, it does. But until next time, we're just two ghouls creeping it real.
Or as Mickey would say, see you real soon, pals.
See you real soon, pal.